everyone, Virago back with my Dewey's 24-hour TBR. I'm getting hot in this thing, so I had to take my head down. So Dewey, I can talk. I really can talk today. So Dewey's 24-hour readathon is coming up this Saturday. I believe the date is the 25th. You think I would remember, have written it down? I don't know. I think it's the 25th. So it's coming up this Saturday. And there is a possibility that this is the last Dewey's ever. The women who took over it when Dewey, the original creator, passed away, they've been doing it for the last, I'm not sure how many years, maybe 5, maybe longer. And their lives have changed, as lives often do. They're a lot busier. They've got a lot going on. And they just don't have the time to be in control of Dewey's. So that was very sad to hear, but they've also made mention that they will let us know on Saturday if there's a possibility of somebody else taking over so that Dewey's will continue to live on, which is nice, but I don't 100% know what they're going to say, if it's going to be that somebody else does take over and that Dewey's will continue on. So if this is the very last Dewey's, I just want to say that this was like probably the coolest thing I ever found book-wise. And I've really enjoyed my years of participating. And if it's not the last Dewey's, I'm still going to have fun and enjoy this like it is the very last Dewey's. So, for every Dewey's, usually, I do a theme. Now, typically, I save my, pardon me, I've had some wine. I typically save my horror genres for the October readathon because it usually, it's Halloween month, you try to do the spooky stuff in October, and I usually save like my other stuff for the April, and then there's another one that happens usually at the end of July, beginning of August. That one's new. That one's only happened a couple times. So you do about 2 to 3 Deweys a year. So I always try to have a theme. This year's theme, or this readathon's theme, is clearly apocalypse, post-apocalypse. I mean, come on. It had to be, right? And the theme, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but not purposely, is actually zombies. It's everything is a zombie apocalypse in this theme. I didn't do it on purpose because I have other apocalypse-themed books that don't involve zombies, but somehow I just picked all the zombie books. Well, no, not all of them. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to tell you about is a book that I'm currently reading. It became available through my library. I'm currently listening to it. It's the audiobook version. It's called The Fireman by Joe Hill. For those of you who don't know who Joe Hill is, he is the son of Stephen King. And oh my goodness gracious, he is every bit as talented as his father, if not more. I've read a few of his books so far. He has not disappointed me. They're really spooky. They're creepy. He is an excellent storyteller. And the only reason why I haven't purchased this book is because it's still, color me cheap, but it's still fairly expensive on Book Outlet compared to what I usually pay for books. And then I saw that there was an audiobook and also an ebook available at my library, and I opted with the audiobook version. It became available. And rather than say, okay, pass it on to the next person, I said, I'll just give it a listen. Don't know if I realized it was about an apocalypse of sorts. So it's basically about this spore that is infecting people, and basically you develop these scales, which they call dragon scales, and it kind of look like dragon scales, and then eventually you spontaneously combust, burst into flames. And basically they don't know how it works. They don't have a vaccine. They don't have a cure. So basically, we're in apocalypse times. And I've started listening to it. I don't know if I will finish it before Saturday. If I do not finish it before Saturday, this will definitely be a part of my TBR, which is why I'm talking about it now. So the next book in my TBR, World War Moo by Michael Logan. This is the second in the Apocalypse Cow series. I read Apocalypse Cow at the end of last year. It had been in my TBR forever. I mentioned it in my my 2020 goals that I'd finished that one. I started this one at the very end of 2019 and then didn't finish it because I picked up something else. And it's not that I'm not enjoying it. I actually was enjoying the book. I picked up other things, and then it just kind of like it fell by the wayside. And since this is technically zombie apocalypse, it's just zombie animals. It feels like, and it's part of my 2020 reading goals, I feel like I should add this to my Dewey's TBR. If I don't start with the fireman, if I don't finish it, I may save that for later in the day when my eyes are starting to bother me and I need to do an audiobook, and I may start with this one just to get it finished. Next is Day by Day Apocalypse Shattered Glass by J.L. Bourne. This is the third in the Day by Day, I'm sorry, did I say Apocalypse? Day by Day Armageddon. This is the third in the Day by Day Armageddon series. This series, the author is former military, and he tells it from that point of view. The protagonist is a military man, and it has a lot of, things that you would expect a military person to know. But also, the author is actually a very good writer. He's an excellent writer, very good storyteller. It's not just like simply military. It was an interesting story. I really enjoy the protagonist as well as the other characters, and I'm actually very interested in finding out what happens, because in the last book it kind of threw us for a loop that there is, without giving away spoilers, there's still somewhat of a working body of government. So that kind of threw us for a loop. So I'm thinking that's all going to come into play in this book. So this is the third book in the series. Next book on my list is Day by Day Armageddon Ghost Run, which is the fourth book in the series, which obviously, if I get past book 3, I'm definitely coming into book 4. The next is, I don't have a physical copy of it. I have a digital and an audio copy. It's also a part of the Day by Day Armageddon series. It's called Gray Fox. It is more of a novella, and it's considered book 4.5. It is, I believe, a side story, but it is part of the actual story. It's part of the series, so I'm going to read that, obviously, if I get through books 3 and 4. The next is another series. It's the start of another series. It's Dying to Live, a novel of life among the undead by Kim Paffenroth. Pathenroth. I don't know why I said that wrong. So I got a book in this series a long time ago, because I believe I was in my zombie phase. This is way before The Walking Dead and everything started. I was just in my zombie phase, and I believe I was doing like the Max Brooks stuff. So, or it was way before The Walking Dead, the series, the TV series, not before the comic book, but that's neither here nor there. So I got a book in this series a while ago. I read it, really enjoyed it, and then found that it was part of a series, and I'd read the series out of order. I don't remember which book I actually read, because I eventually got the other books in the series. So what's going to happen is, it doesn't matter which book it is, I'm going to start with book 1 and work my way through the whole series, and even if I get to the book that I already read, it's been a long time, so I'm just going to reread it. So this is the first book in the series. Second book in the series is Dying to Live Life Sentence, which, once again, I don't know if this is the one I read or not, but doesn't matter, it's getting read anyway. And the third and final book in the series is Dying to Live Last Rites. So, 3 books in the series. If I get to them, I'm going to read them all, and even if I get to the one that I already read, I'll just still go through it, because I'm sure I could use a refresher. Last book on my physical book list, Can You Survive the Zombie Apocalypse by Max Brawlier. I'm terrible with names. I don't know why I'm so bad at names, because I hate when people say my name wrong. But I'm sorry. So this, to some degree, kind of the title alone just kind of reminded me of the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. If you haven't read it, it's freaking hilarious. You should definitely read it. While it actually does have a lot of interesting zombie survival facts, and just survival facts in general that are legit, it's also really funny, because it talks about zombies and how they came to be, and all that stuff. It's really great. Max Brooks is an excellent writer. You should definitely read that. So this kind of reminded me of that. Could I survive a zombie apocalypse? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So this is also on my book, my TBR list. The only other book that I have on my list is another audiobook. It's My Life as a White Trash Zombie, I believe is the name of it. I know it's White Trash Zombie. It's part of the White Trash Zombie series. There's a full-on series. I only got one book in the series. I believe I got it from Audible when it was on a sale, maybe a buy buy 2 for 1 or 3 for 1, or it was just on sale and it sounded funny, and I think I was gonna do it during one of my other Dewey's readathons, and it was on my list and I just didn't get to it. So I've been kind of holding on to it, I guess maybe for another readathon. I don't know, but you know, if I get finished the fireman before Saturday, that will be my fallback booked for when my eyes get tired, or I just, you know, kind of get antsy and I need to be up doing something else, but I can't be doing that and reading, so I'll just put on my headphones and listen to that while I'm doing whatever. So that is my reading TBR. I also have my snacks, which snacks are very important during the readathon. It's very important to have your snacks planned out, to have them in a place where you can get to them, so that you're not just like, oh, you know, I've been reading for like 3 hours, I'm hungry, let me go see what's in. You know, it's important to have these all planned out. So we'll start with the healthy. I always try to do a mix of both. So I've got my fruit, I got my apples. I love Red Delicious apples. I've got my clementines. So, you know, you've got to have, you know, don't want to get a scurvy. You got to have some fruit. I've also got another healthy something just to munch on while I'm sitting there. This is like a cranberry slash raisin slash nut mix. It's really, really tasty. You know, it's got, like I said, it's got a combo of fruit and nuts in it, and, you know, it's good. For my not super healthy, but not super, super bad, we're starting to get into the bad, I've got my Quaker caramel rice cakes. Caramel are my favorite. I don't know why. I like most other rice cakes, but the caramel are definitely my favorite. And then I've got Skinny Pop. We've got our white cheddar, and we've got our original flavor. So I've got, you know, some Skinny Pop. I've also got like some microwave popcorn downstairs. Like if I just want to make a whole thing of popcorn, I've got that as well. Got my Pringles, which have become a staple in my house during the quarantine, because I don't know why they become a staple in my house. But I remember when I was younger, when Pringles were first a thing, like when they first came out, like, you know, you saw the commercial, like, oh, those are so cool, you know, once you pop, you can't stop. And they were the coolest things, and everybody had to have them. They were so great. And then I don't know why you just stop eating them and you forget about them. And then you get them and you're like, oh my God, Pringles are so good. Why did I forget that Pringles are so delicious? I don't know, but Pringles are delicious. And once you pop, you can't stop, because you could eat a whole friggin' can of these in one sitting and not even blink. So I've got my Pringles, and I've also got, these are not my normal gummy bears. I bought these at work. They were on clearance. After my discount, I think I paid 54 cents a pack for these. One of my coworkers was like, oh, get them. They're cheap. You know, just get them and there'll be something to have. And I'm like, all right, well, they'll just be something to have. Well, I opened a bag of these, and me and my daughter devoured them. They're actually really, really good. So I've been holding on to these for the readathon. These are actually pretty tasty. Then I've got my Twizzlers. We are a Twizzlers family. We're not a Red Vines family, and I don't like any other Twizzlers except strawberry. I don't like the cherry. I don't like the pull and peel. I don't like, this is it for me. And then, of course, you gotta have your Oreos. You know, I got my double stuffed. I'm sorry, my mega stuffed. Gotta have my mega stuffed Oreos. And last but not least, chocolate, because what's a readathon without just chocolate? Yummy. Then I've got real sugar Pepsis in the fridge. I left them in the fridge. I didn't feel like bringing them up to show them off. So I've got real sugar Pepsis in the fridge. My husband has these Dr. Pepper cream soda mix, which are actually kind of good. I don't usually drink the soda with high fructose corn syrup because it just jacks my stomach up, but they're actually pretty tasty. And like if you just drink the one can, it's not too terrible. So if I, you know, am in the mood, I'll take one of those. I also have my Vitamin Water Zero. Right now I just got the Triple X, but I also have my orange and lemonade downstairs. And, you know, if the mood calls for it, I've got my wine, which also fits the theme because it's my Walking Dead wine. I don't actually have any Walking Dead books on my TBR. That's not to say that I won't pull one out and just start rereading. You know, I'm a mood reader, and even though I may not be in the mood to read any of those books, I can actually still stick with my theme and pick up something else because I've got a lot of zombie apocalypse books all throughout my house. So this is my Cabernet Sauvignon. and I haven't tried it. I've tried the red blend of this, and I bought it because it was on clearance, and also because, you know, Walking Dead. Even though I stopped watching the show, because I couldn't handle the character death anymore. I still love the show early on, and I love the comics and everything. So I just figured I had to have it. So that is my plan. As far as my actual meals, I don't have a full-on plan, but I will have one by Saturday, because you have to have one of those. Otherwise, you can lose some quality reading time trying to figure out what you're going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I may have breakfast before the readathon even starts. I may just get up early, make my coffee, have my breakfast, and make it in time so that I can eat while I'm reading, or eat it before I start reading. As far as lunch, we may maybe order in something. There's a place called the Mac Mart that I've been trying, that I've had stuff from then at Comic-Con, and I've been contemplating ordering. Like, I've been so nervous about ordering anything because, you know, you're scared, but like, at the same time, you still want to support your local businesses. You want to make sure that they stay open, so that when this is all over, you know, they're still able to open. But I'm also trying to convince my husband to barbecue, which probably isn't going to take a whole lot of convincing, because he got himself a new grill. We got him gift cards. We all, every week, every pay, me and my daughters put in money. We got him a bunch of gift cards for Home Depot so that he could go pick out his own grill. And he finally picked out his own grill. It was actually right before, a week or two before we started the quarantine. And it's a pellet grill. It's a Traeger. And he loves this thing. I mean, like, he's been, you know, doing YouTube videos and all kinds of stuff. And, like, he's really into this grill. So basically all I have to do, and he's starting to get the hang of it, because it's not the same as a charcoal or a gas grill. It's different. It's a completely different animal. So you actually have to get used to cooking on this, you know, as, you know, the same way if you're going from charcoal to gas, or gas to charcoal, there is a difference in how you do it. So long story short, I am definitely going to try to convince him to throw on some steak, or maybe even he'll go get a rack of ribs. I don't know, but I'm hoping to get some barbecue on Saturday. So that actually would take care of, if I get him to do it, he'll do it early in the day, and that'll take care of both lunch and dinner. So that is my plan. I'm hoping that this is not the last Dewey's, but I'm going to treat it as if it is, and I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of myself and have a ton of fun. I will be doing video updates. I tried to do this last time, but last time my readathon did not go well, and it really irritated me, and every time I was doing a video update, I was getting more and more negative, and I just didn't want to put that out in the air. Like, I don't want to put a bunch of negativity out in the air, and I couldn't in good conscience put that out there. So I said, forget it, and I just did a wrap-up video, I believe. So this time around, I am determined to have a good time. I'm not going to let anything get me down. I'm not going to let anything stop me from my plan. I'm not going to let anybody get on my nerves. I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of this readathon. So hopefully I will stick to that plan, and I will have video updates. I don't know if I will update throughout the day, or if I will just make one big mesh of a video. I have no idea what my plan is. Maybe I'll just do like some live stream videos. I don't know. I don't know my plan as far as that. But that is my plan as far as what I'm going to read, what snacks I have, and hopefully I'll be getting some like barbecued ribs or steak or something like that for lunch and dinner. So let me know what you think of my TBR, my snacks. Do you think I should add anything? Do you think I've gone a little bit overboard? I don't think I've gone overboard. You can never have too much. And let me know if you've read or are interested in any of the books that I listed in my TBR. We can chat about them. And I will see you guys on Saturday at the readathon. And until then, happy reading. Deuces.